Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Tyler.
There it is. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Of course. Of course. Now I can
Yeah,
hear you. I wasn't hearing you earlier.
yeah, now it's okay?
Now it's okay.
Yeah, and how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Yeah, me too. Last few weeks of last year was pretty bad, but now it's okay. Yeah, I had too much free time, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's not fun.
yeah, my OCD loves it when I have free time and nothing to do, and only one thing to do is to think. And
Yes.
it's
Ruminate and go in circles.
yeah. But now it's pretty good. I finally um uh, I finally have awesome friends at work, and it makes me feel good. And I have people around me who really understand me at work.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. A
Yeah,
support system is everything.
yeah, absolutely
I'm
agree. And
glad that you're feeling better though.
yeah, yeah,
So
it's
I'm so
okay.
happy
I'm
that
I'm happy too.
I'm glad. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm glad you're here, and we can speak about really important things with many people. I have live streams, and I'm so excited and I'm so happy that people who don't know me personally just tell me, "Yeah, Lucas, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just do it.
Let's do something good for others," and this is amazing.
Yeah, no, I think that this is very informative for people, and I think it all comes down to relating to one another. And by the way, can you hear and see me? Because for some reason I can't see if there's anybody commenting, I can't see it. So,
Yeah,
um,
I see you, I hear you, everything is okay.
all right, awesome. Um,
So
yeah, go ahead.
we can start with our thing here,
Hmm.
and I wanted to talk with you about something about social media
Hmm.
and OCD, because social media has the bright side and also the dark side, I think, and
Hmm.
we should be really careful what we're looking for, and with what people we're talking with, and yeah, and I want to talk about this because I know many people who based only on social media, and
Hmm.
they don't care about therapy. and this is not so good for them,
Right.
and this is risky, and I think social media this way can hurt these people.
Hmm. I agree with you. I think things have changed dramatically over the past 10 years, not just even, you know, how we talk about things, but the social media interaction. I think there's a lot of burnout. I think that there's a lot of
Yeah,
information overload and also confusion with a lot because anybody can say anything at any time.
yeah,
So it kind of mixes into a pot that sometimes we don't really know how to regulate in our own lives. And yeah, it can be extremely detrimental. And I think that it's important that even accounts like ours, podcasts, we always have to say this should not be taken in replacement of therapy if you are struggling.
yeah,
And there's a
yeah,
reason for that, right?
yeah. So, but I think we can start with something positive because the dark side, we will speak about this absolutely,
Yeah.
because I think we should tell people what's wrong with social
Mhm.
media and what should we not not to do
Yeah.
not doing with in social media. But
Mhm.
the really first thing, I'm so happy that I'm in this community, and I started joining to Facebook groups. I started with my page, and I met so many amazing people who really who really let me feel less alone, and who understand me. And this is amazing, and I'm really, really thank you guys, thank you all for this, because this is priceless.
Truly, truly. I'm actually curious. You said that you started on Facebook. Did you start with this name, Intrusive Thoughts?
No,
Like,
no, absolutely. I on Facebook I started to join to many groups about OCD
gotcha.
as my personal account, and first after my diagnosis in 2023. Uh, I joined a Facebook group in Poland, and I saw that I'm not alone, and that there are many people who struggle with OCD, who understand, who supports each other,
Mhm.
and this is amazing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah,
I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think something that you're doing that's so important, and to segue into the positive side of this is exactly what you just said, being able to connect to somebody, whether they're behind a screen, the other side of the world, right next door, and say, hey, you understand how my brain works, and I understand how yours works to a certain extent. We should connect. We should talk
yeah.
about this because I think that it's a very isolating disorder to have.
Yeah, OCD loves when we are alone, and we just ruminating,
Hmm.
and we doing compulsions,
Hmm.
and this is what OCD really, really like.
Yeah.
And I was alone, without friends, just in my head for last 3 years, and that was really, really tough times for me.
Of course.
And then I found this Facebook group in Poland with almost 5,000 people, and that was really yeah. These people really support me.
Good. I'm very happy to hear that. I think the positive aspect of this is when you get welcomed into a community or welcomed into a group, for like Facebook, for example.
Yeah,
There is sort of, we as humans, we want to be around people who can relate to us. We want to be able to connect to people on a deeper level rather than just talking, about the little things in life, right? Oh, the weather's nice, whatever it is. When you connect to somebody on a deeper level and you can feel that they understand your pain, feel that they understand your
yeah,
fears, that's a different type of thing. And I think
Yeah,
social media
absolutely
can,
agree.
it can just totally exaggerate a lot of our emotions. And I think when we are around like-minded people, whether it's in person or on social media, it has a different effect on us. But we do have to be careful that we're not in like an echo chamber of our own negativity or our own, even sometimes just hyper positivity, and not really acknowledging the set fact that some days we just feel like crap, you know, and some days the OCD is much harsher than other days. So I think that we have to be very mindful, very careful about how we're choosing to use social media when it comes to connecting to people. And I'm curious for you, do you feel like when you're on Instagram, like for example, in the community on a bad OCD day or on a day that you feel really good, do you feel a different relationship with social media depending on how you're feeling?
Yeah, I think and this is so amazing because I have few friends, and I know when I have really tough OCD day and I have really hard times, I can just write them, and without reassurance,
Yes.
we can just talk. And yeah, I feel bad, and I just want to talk, and nothing more. And this is
Yes.
amazing. But yeah, absolutely, I feel that this type of connection is really good because it's hard to find at the time when we feel really bad
Hmm.
someone who really understands us. And I can have here in my home my wife, my kids, my friends from work, but people without OCD can just support us, but not as someone who really understands what we are feeling inside.
Right. It's more sympathetic rather than empathetic, you know,
Yeah,
um, I've noticed too, personally, I haven't really been open about my OCD until my mid 20s. You know, I think I spent my whole life going like inside all the time.
yeah,
And especially with OCD, like you said, it's easy to think and to ruminate and to go inside of your own kind of problems. And I didn't really share much besides with my therapist or just seeking reassurance with my family. And even then, they didn't even know that seeking reassurance was a thing. They were just like, why are you asking the same questions over and
yeah,
over again? Like, you just asked this question an hour ago, you know? And I'd be like, I
yeah,
don't know. It just doesn't stay with me. And when I started to share, you know, my experience with OCD openly, I felt like, well, you know what? Uh, I have nothing. I have nothing to lose here. It's scary, but at the same time, I felt because I had talked to my doctors and because I had talked to my therapist about it, I was like, I need to find other people who think like this because
yeah,
I feel like a freak half the time, you know? And so once I started to open up and talk about it on social media more, I started to realize that there are so many people who suffer in silence. And and I know what that's like for a good portion of my life, but I don't think that it made me feel you know, and on one hand, it didn't make me feel better because I was like, oh my God, we are so far away from being able to share our problems openly without judgment. Because look at
yeah,
how many people are just quiet about it because they're so afraid from a societal standpoint. But on the same token, I felt like, oh my gosh, like I've struggled alone for so many years, and yet we were all kind of
yeah.
like struggling together. So we're not really alone.
Yeah, and we can we I really believe thanks to social media we can change the situation in the
Mhm.
world, in our society, and we can really change this because when we speak out loud in social media about OCD, about mental health, we can spread awareness, and this is amazing because when I started, I have really small account, and there was only few people, 100 people, but now I know I can use it to make something better, something good to other people, and we really can change their lives. And
Yes.
this is amazing in social media. This is really amazing.
Yes, I agree. I think there's a lot of judgment when it comes to social media because everybody talks about, social media being a bad thing and it's something that is the cause of anxiety and depression for many. And that may be the case. And I know in my own life, it's definitely a cause of depression for me, or at least plays a part in my depression to a degree. However, my OCD, the connection that I feel with people in the community and being welcomed into the community too. I don't think that I really talk about that as much as I should because I am like fairly new to the community. I started the podcast a year ago
Mhm.
already,
Yeah,
and the love and support and welcome from so many people across the community. And some people that I've become best friends with quite a few people in the community just online,
yeah,
just from talking to them about our experiences and being open and vulnerable about them. I can't put a price on that. I don't think anybody can, and I think when somebody talks about social media in a negative light, that may be their experience, and I can understand and empathize with them. But from the OCD standpoint, the OCD part of like my life has needed to connect to people, and I
yeah,
think that's healing for me. So I can't thank social media enough for being a beacon of hope for me and really like outpouring support from other people. I can't put a measurement of like love on that because I just feel so grateful.
yeah. Absolutely agree. This is amazing. And mm, when I started my journey with this page, with this community, I didn't think that there are in the world so many amazing people who really can understand, who really can support us, uh, who can be our friends. I don't see many from these people in reality, but we feel the same, and we have the same vibes.
Yes,
And this is
yes.
this is really amazing.
I
I
think,
I yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know you earlier, didn't know you earlier too, but we speak as we, I don't know
Yeah.
how to say it.
Well,
Yeah,
we connected because of the video, that wonderful
yeah,
video
yeah,
you made. And I was so thankful to be a part of that along with some of my friends and thinking about connecting to somebody across the world, right? And like you are somebody who has struggled with something in silence for a portion of your life. I am somebody who has struggled in silence for a portion of my life, and yet here we are brought together by a screen and
yeah,
also our challenges. And that has been kind of the centerpiece of a connection like this. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, there's a reason why we as humans gravitate towards connecting to people. And it really is, I think, this this feeling of being understood and this feeling of having something in common with someone. And that's why social media, I think, has
yeah,
just exploded in the past 10, 15 years because we just want to connect to people, whether it's in a positive way or from a negative standpoint too. We want to feel connected in our joy, our pain, our
yeah,
fear. That's what we want to do. And so and like I said, I think it's how you use it. I'm using social media to connect to people who understand
yeah.
OCD.
Yeah, and this is incredible because when I started this project with this clip, this movie,
Mhm.
uh, I I wrote to many people, and they just wrote me, yeah, sure, here you are, my video, and
Yeah.
they they don't know me. Social media can be a really incredible tool, but we don't know each other, and we can make so many incredible things, and this is amazing. But we have also to be really careful, and this is the dark side of social media, because I know many accounts, many people who are non-educated and have no knowledge about OCD, but I think it's really easy to start therapist account on social media without being therapist.
Correct.
And this is the point what I'm really afraid of, because there are so many people, so many sufferers who don't have knowledge and education as you and me, and they don't verificate these people, and this is
that's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
That's really dangerous, because it's so easy to build on Facebook, on Instagram, a really good looking profile, and we can just go into it and believe these people, and we don't know anything about their experience and who they really are.
Right. I think the reason why that happens so often too is because when somebody is suffering and they are so desperate for peace or so desperate for connection and help, they're so willing to take whatever relief is in front of them. And this is a dangerous thing, because there are people out there who know how to capitalize on that and know how to exploit people who are in pain and suffering just for $1, and they know how to do it. And if you're not aware of that, and you're looking and you're so desperate for peace, because OCD is just is so incredibly difficult to deal with. And when you're, and I know that feeling, I know that place where you're just like, I just want to feel good right now, please help me. That's where danger can occur. So I think that's why social media is good for certain things, to connect to people who understand what you're dealing with, but not connecting to them for them to fix you, not looking to be on social media to get better. Being on social media to connect and to inform, I think, is one thing. To avoid, to run away, to get better, to look for a quick fix, I don't think is the answer for social media, which is
I don't hear you now. Maybe something wrong with. Do you hear me? Or
oh yeah, I hear you now. Sorry, I have app limits on my phone because I don't like to be on Instagram for too long. So it just said, hey, you're at your point for the day. I'm sorry.
But, no problem.
So that's why I think you have to be careful. Be very careful about why you're using social media.
We have to remember that social media are not therapy, and we can use it wisely. We can use this content, which is really valuable, on many accounts, and this is awesome. But we have to be really careful, because especially it's really hard to find a right therapist in Poland, and it's quite expensive. And many people who don't have money for therapy are looking on social media, and they don't really care if this therapist is after study, have knowledge and have experience, but it's cheap and account looks really great,
Right.
and they believe them, and the journey started really bad because without good therapist we can't do step forward, and can't we can't make our situation better.
I agree. I agree with that. I think if you're going to, I think it's fine to see, you know, certain things on like if you find a therapist on social media and you're actually genuinely curious as to who they are and if they can help you, do some research on them and see if you can find
Yeah,
out who they are. You know, if do they have credibility? Do they have are like even Psychology Today? I've seen that their directory with finding certain people, and I'm not sure if it's the same in Poland, but you can look up, you know, if there's certain,
yeah,
you know, if there's certain people who are providers for you and if they specialize in certain things. And I think there's other ways to verify if somebody is legit. And so
yeah,
just using social media as a one and done kind of thing, I don't think is wise.
yeah, yeah. You know, when I want, I can be from tomorrow therapist. I just changed the title on my Instagram,
Yep.
and yeah,
And there's no
but I'm not.
verification. There's no
Yeah,
verification on
yeah,
social
but
media.
I'm not therapist, and this is the first thing I write to people when they ask me for help. Sorry, this is not a good place to
Hmm.
ask for that because I really don't know your situation.
Hmm.
If you really have OCD or borderline
Right.
or something else,
Hmm.
and I'm not therapist, and this is the really important thing to remember. And I tell this everyone who really looking for help.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you deal with that when people reach out because I get the same on TikTok. I get the same on
Yeah,
Instagram, my email as well, and I do I do the same. I tell people to, I always recommend people to the IOCDF to look for
yeah, absolutely.
resources, you know, and also to know CD as well, if that's something that they can swing or at least like start. But I think I always try to do my best to explain my situation if somebody's asking a direct question. And only tell them my experience with my OCD and what I've done in certain ways to kind of navigate that. But I do agree with you. I always have to mention I am not a therapist.
Yeah,
Please go seek help from someone who is, especially OCD, an OCD specialist. It's not going to be helpful just to find any old therapist when it comes to OCD. I think somebody who's trained in ERP, who understands the differences, um, in different treatments that involve OCD, and
yeah.
how the nature of OCD works is important.
Yeah, because when people are suffering and ask you for reassurance, if we
Yes.
want, if we uh, don't have knowledge and education and experience with OCD, we can just reassure them and making the situation worse. And
Right.
this is really often in social media, in Facebook groups. Uh, I have one my Facebook group for OCD sufferers, and so many times I see many people asking for reassurance, and there are so many people who gave them reassurance, and they really don't understand that this is not the point,
Right.
and this is not a step to better life.
Hmm. Yeah, it's keeping them
And
in the it's keeping them suffering. And
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard because our natural reaction is to want to help someone feel better. But
Yeah.
you're right. If you don't understand the nature of OCD and really how it works and what it thrives on, you're going to do much more damage than
Yeah.
helping
Yeah.
them, head in the right direction.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to find the right therapist, because here I see one comment: OCD and trauma need specialized skills. Agree, absolutely
Mhm.
agree. And I know my therapist is really awesome, is amazing, and I think you can see this in my reels
Mhm.
and in my memes, but I know that I have knowledge and I am educated because I read a lot of books, but my therapist is not CBT, it's not connected with IOCDF,
Mhm.
and when someone asked me, give me number to your therapist, I said, sorry, but this is, I think, not good idea for someone who don't know, uh, who really have done, who have no experience with OCD.
Right. Right. Well, it's very valuable for you to share that too, because I think, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, when you're suffering, you just want the quickest, most immediate help. And sometimes that getting that help, right, that's not necessarily um, specialized for OCD can actually end up putting you further behind, or at least holding you off from getting the treatment that you need.
Yeah,
So that's
for
why it's so
example,
important.
when therapist tells you you don't need meds because therapy is all you need, it's also bullshit. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I don't know if I would be able to function without my medication. So, you
me
know,
too.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah.
agree.
And I spent like a good 15 years of my life in that gray area of
Mm,
living my life, but living on living on, uh, not really living, like really, I could at any point get in the OCD mentality and spiral quick. And I think once I had existential OCD when I turned 25, I didn't even realize it was existential OCD until much
mm.
later. And then social media actually played a huge part in helping me recognize that, oh my gosh, like I I think that these themes that I've been dealing with the past few years are definitely related to my OCD. So, oh hi, is
Sorry,
that your, that's
my son.
okay. That's your
Yeah,
son?
yeah.
Oh, he wants some attention from dad.
Yes, somewhere was knocking at the doors, and but okay.
That's okay. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's important. It's important to get the right help, because any old help, I don't think is sufficient for OCD.
yeah. Absolutely agree. And the first point we can find, this is the problem in Poland, because many people in Poland don't speak English, and on my Facebook group where is 5,000 people, I if I will share, for example, IOCDF page,
Hmm.
I think this not work, because many
Mm,
people don't speak English, and when I will speak with people who who I know, with my close ones with OCD, I I tell them IOCDF page is the first thing where can we find how can we help ourselves,
hmm.
and where should we looking for help.
Right. And it's interesting because, you know, the IOCDF is an international organization, and I think that they're doing their best to try to outreach and source out to reach more of those communities that don't speak English, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I think it's important because there OCD is not just subject to, English speaking countries or just,
yeah,
the West,
yeah,
America. I think that it's very important for this to be accessible for everybody and anybody across the world of any language. But
yeah,
and I know that that takes time and money and growth and awareness as well.
yeah. Absolutely. And I'm so happy that I started this meme page in English because
Yes,
when I was making this in Polish, I think it will be not so good for me and for other people because in Poland I know just few accounts who
hmm
are really good uh, and are about OCD. I can't count this on my one hand. This is
I understand.
yeah, OCD topic is not so popular here in Poland, and
Mm,
that's why I would to change this, and I speak about this in Polish radio with other people, and I will share this live stream also with Polish subtitles because I know this can change many people's lives.
yes, I think that you're absolutely correct about the fact
Yeah,
that you are seeing an opportunity here to help not only connect but inform people who otherwise won't find content that helps connect to them. They won't be able to
yeah,
connect to somebody if they don't understand what they're saying.
yeah,
So that's extremely important. I think you're doing a massive service to people who are Polish speaking and who are suffering, from OCD.
yeah. And the next thing I think when you have experience with OCD and just uh, small knowledge, small level of knowledge, but you know something about
Mhm,
OCD, you can educate in social media. I think it's so
mhm.
many really amazing people in our community. Where can we take something for us and
Right.
educate ourselves?
And I think the beautiful thing about that is we all have similar experiences, but we also have different experiences too. We have
Yeah,
different stories. OCD has manifested at different points in all of our lives for different reasons. And I think it's our responsibility if we are choosing to be in such a wonderful community like this to share that, um, and also realize that no two stories are going to be the same.
yeah.
So
We can we can access to diverse perspectives from different people, and
mhm,
especially when we meet someone who wants to share their experience with OCD, it's so amazing. It's also so amazing what you do because
thank you.
only when we speak out loud about our experience that we are people, not we are not our OCD.
Correct.
We can make a difference.
I agree.
And
I absolutely agree with that. And I think that's the one thing that we have to always remind ourselves is you're not just, your difference, your disorder, your problems, your successes. You're not just whatever those are. You're a human being and you are
yeah,
having an experience, and
yeah, and
that's what's valuable here.
yeah, we can normalize
Hmm
this and finally break the stigma because when we have toothache, we go to dentist or somewhere. We can speak out loud about this. Yeah,
Yes.
to my friends. Today I'm going to the doctor, and
hmm
that's it.
Right.
And when we speak about mental health, it's not so easy to speak and to tell people sorry, I have to go from work earlier because I have therapy or I have a psychiatrist and something like that. And when we speak about this on social media and show people this is something we struggle with and we want to change our lives and go step forward, but this is our disorder and we are not this disorder.
Right. Yeah.
We are
And I think
we
that
are
that's
not
important.
dangerous. These are just thoughts and yeah.
Yeah, no, you're
And we decided
absolutely right.
and we decided to make this huge step to talking about this and to help us and help others.
Yes, that is the whole reason why, I started the podcast too, is I
This
I
is
felt like
incredible. Yeah.
thank you so much. I wanted to. I didn't know where I was going to go with it. I just knew that I wanted to share my perspective of having OCD, and hoping that I created something that I would have loved to hear when I was young, because I didn't. I didn't have any of that, and I didn't understand what was happening to me for a long time. Even I got diagnosed at 10 years old, and I didn't even know that what I struggled with throughout my teenage years was OCD. I thought my OCD was just my neatness and my cleanliness, and I had not even understood really the reality of how OCD affected every part of my life until I was much older. So I think these are important conversations to have. I think if we think about the people, if we think about the fact that there are people right now in the position that you and I were in, at our worst and at our lowest, that is what keeps us sharing. That is what keeps us talking about it, because there's so many people who need to understand that they're not bad people, they're not freaks, they're OCD, and they're having a moment and they're struggling, and they need to know that that is something that they can work on.
Yeah, here is my Polish friend Magda. Hi Magda. She's waiting for Polish subtitles. Yeah, będą polskie napisy na YouTubie, także cierpliwości.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I wish I could
that's
see. I can't see anything.
yeah. Uh, and when we speak, we spoke about the bright side of social media and. Now it's I have in my head few points. Oh, sorry, wait a minute, because I have one good thing about social media because I know my memes and many pages like mine can trigger other people.
Mhm.
It's really triggering sometimes, and I'm sure it really is, but I think it's good
Mhm.
because we can look at these pages like a really good opportunities to make an exposure and
Yes.
because for OCD triggering can be everything,
Yes.
not just
Correct.
social media. For example, every place, everything, and social media, for me especially, are really triggering.
Mhm.
And when I started my journey, I avoided social media. I avoided this page, which are too triggering for me.
Yep.
But now I but now this is for me like exposure and this is amazing, but
I
we
understand.
yeah we have to be aware of that we can use social media like that.
It all stems from awareness, really understanding
Yeah,
what what it is that you gravitate towards for comfort, what it is that causes anxiety for you. Where does anxiety or stress or shame show up in your body? I think it all comes down to awareness, and you know, a book had triggered my existential OCD. It was a book,
Yeah.
you know, and so I avoided the author for a long time who wrote anything related to the book I read. Um, and then now I'm reading, you know, his books on purpose because I like what he talks about. So I think it's realizing that whenever you're triggered in some way
Yeah.
when it comes to OCD, if you can look at it from another perspective of you know, this is an opportunity to maybe dip my toe in the water and face this and you know, look at it as something that is a stepping stone in my healing. That can be helpful for other people. I think it's important to recognize that it's not always going to be a like upward climb. You know, there are some days that some of my triggers I can handle, and there are other days where it's like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that
And
today.
this is also important because social media can be over triggering, and
Hmm.
when we are not aware about this, we can looking for something on our feed, and then boom, and
Yeah.
OCD hit it just like a bomb, and something.
Yeah. So
And
true.
this is also, yeah, that's why I follow just few accounts, about 80 accounts or 90 accounts,
Hmm.
because I don't know to have a mess in my phone.
Yeah. You
Because,
also want to be aware of the
yeah,
content you're consuming.
yeah.
I totally
Oh,
understand.
now they're here with us. Patricia, that's my friend from work,
Hello.
and my personal manager, and she really helped me in my journey, and I'm really grateful for that. And she really support me in my project, in my meme page. So I will not be at this point without her. So really thank you,
That's wonder. What is her name?
Patricia.
Patricia. Hello, Patricia.
Yeah.
What a wonderful human.
Yeah, they are really many amazing amazing people around us, but
Hmm.
we uh, have to think about that we are not alone, and we should looking for help.
Hmm. Sometimes we have to push ourselves to ask for an ear, you know, to ask for
Yeah,
support from a friend or
yeah,
family,
yeah,
and OCD is really good at trying to get us to isolate. So
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's uh, mm, yeah. The next point when we speak about dark side
mhm.
of social media is mm, is something like comparison to the
Yeah.
others, because OCD is not something like it's one OCD and everyone has one OCD type,
Right.
or something like that. My OCD can be at this level, and your OCD on some day can be
Hmm.
so debilitating. And this is
Right.
uh, this is also the point we should mm, be careful of,
Hmm.
because we can think that when you feel better after 1 or 2 months of therapy, I should too, and that not
Right.
works this way. And
No,
in
it's very. I'm sorry.
yeah, and this is important because social media shows us really different types of content, and
Hmm.
I know this from my my workout journey when I started doing workouts at the gym, and I'm looking for accounts with bodybuilders and so on, and this is not good. And the same thing is about OCD. Yeah, you
Yes.
can find some accounts where when therapists tell people that 1 month and they were be healed, and
No,
yeah,
no,
not.
no. You're on your own journey. You know, your journey
Yeah,
is yours and yours only, and their journey is theirs and theirs only. You know, and I think
yeah,
that's an extremely important, thing to
yeah,
recognize and remind
yeah.
people, that your journey is not going to look like anyone else's.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
we shouldn't compare progress with others,
Right.
because this is really mm, complicated thing.
Yeah. You only see a sliver of someone's life on social media. And if you look at my page or my podcast, you might think that I'm like this healed person, and I'm very far from that.
Yeah,
I'm going to have OCD for the rest of my life. There's days where I forget it's there, and then there's days like my dad was in the hospital this past summer, and it was my OCD was the worst that it's been in years, and I
hmm,
had trouble leaving the hospital room. I was performing compulsions like crazy. And
yeah,
so it's easy to look at someone's page and think that they have it figured out, or look at someone's page and think that you should be where they are, or they should be where you're at, and it's not the case. It's a give and take relationship, I think, with life, and especially with OCD. And there's certain days where you're really you're living, and there's other days where it's hard to. And so I think that that's a very important point to bring home here.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely agree. And I I know something else from my experience, because when I started reading books after my diagnosis about OCD,
Mhm.
uh, it can be also dangerous with social media and looking for education, because uh, we can't just stop. And I am the person, and OCD really like it, that when I do something, I do it for 100%. And when you start looking for knowledge for other accounts with OCD, you can be you can stuck in the circle of looking for knowledge,
Yeah.
and this is uh, your goal, and this
Yes.
is not good for you.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's another way of reassurance seeking, looking for
Yeah,
answers, and
yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
there's no answers for certain things. We're still learning
yeah,
a lot about how the OCD brain works, and really how to get through certain things. And I think that as long as we're learning, sometimes sometimes our answers can change, and there's something to be said about that. So the more that you reassure yourself, or you're looking for
yeah,
specific answers for certain things, that might be OCD at play.
yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
had some
And
great points, really great points.
and I think the last point, but it's also important. It's point because I started talking about OCD in form of humor, with memes and with reels, and I am aware about this, that mm, many people can don't understand me in good way,
Hmm.
and I have to be careful making memes now, because when I didn't think about this when I have a small account with few people, and so this was like therapy for me. I'm making memes. I have I can look at my OCD at different perspective, and this was awesome, and this is awesome. But now when we have so many people in this community, we should to be careful, because someone could think that OCD is not so serious problem, because we can make memes and we can laugh, and so this is not so hard disorder. And I don't want to people understand this way
I understand.
what I'm doing, and this is also important, because there are so many accounts with connected with mental health problems, and I think they do it really wrong.
I see what you're saying.
Because they shows that mental disorders are not something serious, but yeah.
I understand. I think I can understand that, you know. But as somebody who I deal with hardship in my life with some sort of comedy, you know, comic relief, and I would consider myself a serious person, but I also would consider myself a not you know, a very joking type person.
Yeah,
And I think it's okay to have both. You know, I think in my page I have some serious posts, and then I also have some funny posts too. And I
yeah,
think it just shows the different sides of healing, and it shows the different sides of coping too. You know,
yeah,
I love coping with, sometimes I have a really tough day and I just, for some reason, I just get a thought that is just so like funny, and I'm
yeah,
like, man, like this is, I probably shouldn't share this, but it makes my pain feel a little bit less painful, you know,
yeah,
and then,
and
you know,
yeah, totally understand. And before my journey after my diagnosis, when I started therapy, uh, I thought I was not so funny person and positive person. When we met our friends, I was silent. I don't speak too much with people, don't smile, and never in my life I made memes. And when I started to cope with OCD this way, I found something in my character, in my personality, that's really worked for me and worked for others.
yes,
And this is amazing, because when I was alone, I was stuck in my mind, in my head. I just ruminated, and this was really tough times. But now I know I have something inside me, and I can show this to other people. And when you see my memes and my reels, you can really feel how I feel at this point, because
yes,
this is not something like that um, I have memes for every day right now, but tomorrow I can feel really bad, and you can see this on my page,
yes. Well,
unfortunately.
I think it's a wonderful thing to be transparent as somebody, you know, like such as yourself or like myself, because we get to show people that we're not one dimensional, and they don't have to be one dimensional either. You know, you want to cope and be funny today, be funny. You know, if you want to cry and
Yeah,
punch the wall tomorrow, cry and
yeah,
punch the, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like not
absolutely.
actually punch it, don't hurt yourself,
We
but
can
like, you
we
know,
can show our
right,
emotions, and this is important,
right.
because I cried so many time alone without showing this, without speaking about this, and this is not good for our health.
I agree. I love crying. I wish I cried more sometimes, but I think it's sometimes it's really hard for me to get to that point.
Yeah,
But when I
yeah,
do, when I'm able to get to that point, it's very relieving, you know, and like that's
yeah,
another way to cope,
absolutely.
you know.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's amazing to talk with you right now. I'm really happy.
Likewise,
Oh,
me too. Thank you for having me. I mean,
yeah,
this is wonderful. This was wonderful.
yeah. is wonderful that we are connected. You are so many miles away, and
Yes.
we speak right now. And this is amazing side of social media, and we can use this. We can spread awareness, and we can do really good things. And we can, I think, this is true. We can change the world, and
That's right.
this is amazing.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
you. And I'm really glad that we had this conversation. I hope whoever has tuned in has been able to take something from it. And, you know,
yeah,
I think the most important thing is to be be the best version that you can be right now. And sometimes it's much harder than other times, and that's okay, you know. And
yeah.
so that's
Agree.
this
Absolutely agree.
it's all about being human.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, I see. I'm not as
uh,
good as you are with that, but you know,
yeah.
we got that.
Maybe someone has question for us. We can answer it, and then I go to sleep because
That's
it's
great.
yeah.
What time is it there?
Not
Eight
not
o'clock?
here is yeah. Hey,
Awesome. That's a great bedtime.
th this will be not avoidance nap. I will go to sleep with my kids because my wife is on business trip, so
Mm.
I'm alone home with my kids.
Oh,
But it's also awesome time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
guys, if you have questions for us, just ask. We can answer it. If no, I say goodbye and good night.
Yes. Yeah, if they have a question, you'll have to read it because I can't see the live stream. I can't
Yeah,
see
I
the
I
notes.
I will read this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are so many amazing people here. Uh,
Wonderful.
yeah, cool. So, there are no questions. So I hope we can meet someday in reality, and we can connect every time you want
I think
because
that
this is
would be
really,
great.
really amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. This is wonderful, and I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler, and have a good day.
You too. We'll talk soon. Bye
Bye.
bye.